Hey, welcome to Talking Small Press Comics, episode 50. How about that?
50.
Episode 50 with Steve Keeter.
Yay, fireworks,
Larned
fireworks.
Justin. Hey.
Yay.
How about
Howdy,
that?
hi there. Howdy, hi there, friends and neighbors.
Yeah. So
Somebody
we're
said
excited.
that.
We had 50 episodes. Holy mackerel. I don't know
That's
what
hard to
year,
believe.
how many years we've been doing it. Maybe a year. I don't know.
No, it's, what is it, a year and a half? I don't know.
Maybe a year and a half. I don't know. But anyway,
50
let me
episodes.
do a quick teaser for the next show. We will be featuring, if I can get these both on.
Martin is such a tease, folks. He's such a tease.
I have to show these one at a time, I guess.
Yeah. I got those. I got them back over here, though. Well, I don't have.
Okay.
I got one of those. I got that one.
All right. That is, the one I'm showing here is The Big by Levi Erickson. And the other one is Pizza Night by Ryan Holgerson. And they both have a YouTube channel. You may know about that already. It's called Comics in the Making. And those two books will be in our next episode. So what you need to do, you go over to Comics in the Making and look at that, and then watch our next episode to see what their comics look like. How about that? So
Like a winner.
yeah, we're looking forward to that. But that's in the making. That's what's coming up. And for now, we got a bunch of comics again. You know what I noticed this time?
What's
We don't
that?
have any full-size comics. Every one of the comics we're doing that I know of are digest or mini. We don't have any full-size
No,
ones.
we reviewed this one last time.
Yeah.
But right, you're right. They're digest or
there's
mini comics.
No full-size comics this time, which
And
is
the reason
interesting.
I have this up here for a reason.
Oh,
I have
okay,
this
go
for
ahead.
a reason.
Go ahead.
First of all, because I want to keep gawking at this great cover by Don Simpson.
Yeah, very,
Still
very
blown
good.
away by that, and the sneak preview of the upcoming
Number
covers
3, yeah.
by Don. Wow. I mean, that's great stuff. But also, because there was something we neglected to mention last time, I'll mention it very quickly. There's a guy out there named Brian Amstetter.
Okay.
Brian Amstetter. And that's not him. That must be him right there. But he's been publishing something called a Chief Coffee Cup. And it looks like Joe Corrales is going to be compiling a bunch of the episodes of this, and it's pretty funny stuff. Here's a sample of Brian's work there. But apparently he did this. He was in I guess he was in the Navy. Yeah, he was in the Navy. Chief Petty Officer, or the story is about a chief petty officer who has an obsession with coffee, and he's done a lot of strips with this, and it needs to be put into a book. I'm not sure. I guess these strips were published, Navy periodical or something. But Joe's planning to publish these in a book. And here's something else, and I want to say, looking forward to it.
Yeah.
This is a pretty good cartoonist here, and funny stuff.
Thanks for your service, by the way.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks for your service, and we're looking forward to seeing this. So, Joe, do it, man. I want to encourage you. Go ahead and publish this guy. We want to see more. Looks good.
Yeah. Okay.
There you go.
Good. All
That's
right.
your
What do we
plug.
got now? Let's go. We got to get going because we've been accused of having the show too long.
Yeah. Let me see what time it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we got a lot of comics.
Yeah, we got a lot of little comics.
A lot of
Which
little
one you
comics. Pam Bliss.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
We got a bunch of stuff. Of stuff from Pam Bliss. Good grief. There you go. And
yeah, I got all those. Look at that.
if she is one of the most talented people, one of the most talented people ever in small press, I don't know who is.
Pam is very clever. I mean, these you would really get a kick out of these comics. They're so different and so clever. I mean, I just enjoyed the heck out of them. They're just great. All of them are little, you know, a couple pages. Some are a little longer. Prices are, you know, $2 to maybe some of the bigger ones maybe $4, something like that. But
interesting. What's interesting, I remember somewhere in one of these books, she mentions, yeah, it's in this one, Origins #1, a Keikionga. I guess it's called Keikionga.
Yeah, that's her. Isn't that her webpage? Keikionga?
I don't know. I have to check it out. At least it's the name of her publishing outfit or whatever. But this is the same book. It's a flip book. You can flip it over. This side is the very first mini comic she ever published.
Yes.
Reprinted. And the other side,
a newer one. Yeah.
Is a recreation of that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Decades later, and she does it. She does the same story again, but it's interesting. She's got a lot of information about it. Well, this
what
is
I
text,
liked.
So
what I liked, her printing for her zines is so good. But when you look back at the early one she did, you can see the little difference. She has improved so much. They were both fine, but the newer stuff, she's right on with it.
Right.
Her lettering is perfect. You know, I really like that.
This is from the original version that was published in 1988.
See if we can show.
What I wanted to say, go ahead, show pictures of it. It's cool, but I wanted to say something because she has an editorial here, and she mentions 1988. She went to the Chicago Comics Convention in 1988. She met Matt Feazell. She had brought her portfolio, but she hadn't published any comics yet. She talked to Matt Feazell. He explained to her how to make a mini comic. Matt Feazell has influenced so many people.
Yeah, very cool.
You know what? I was there at Chicago in 1988, and I can prove it. This is Matt Feazell's. Well, this is Matt Feazell's video of the show, and you can see me right here. That skinny guy in the blue shirt. Yeah, sitting next to Jim Main. That was Jim and me, and everywhere at Chicago in 1988. And you know, I don't know if Pam stopped by our table. She said she went to Artist Alley. I remember it was in one big room. Artist Alley was. All the small press stuff was there. I was there representing the UFO, but Matt Feazell was there as well. And there's Matt right there in 1988. Yeah, so this is kind of cool. I don't know if Matt still has this available, this DVD, but it's really cool. But she was there. I might have met her. I might have talked to her.
You might have.
I didn't know who she was. She didn't know who I was, apparently, you know, so a little bit of history there.
She was just starting out. Anyway, I want to show her comics. This one is Souvenir de Paris.
Souvenir de Paris, or Paris.
This one is Mr. Rock. Mission Equinox. I just want to show these so we get them on, you know. This one is that up there. Another Day, Another Mysterious Stranger.
You know, it's just like
and this is the origin
Another Day, Another Mysterious Stranger.
Yeah. And then we have The Mummy Princess.
That's a good one.
Ancient Secrets.
Yep.
And then this one is very cool. This is a poem by Hulk.
Poem by Hulk.
I pretty much.
I laughed all the way through this.
Oh yeah, this is hilarious.
It's hilarious. It's actually
very clever.
He says he's not really the Hulk. He says first, not that Hulk, and related cousin on father's side, Erickson Hulk. Happy to meet you.
Yeah, that's the guy.
That's Erickson Hulk.
Their poems. Their poems. Every and with a little illustration next to the poem. But they're very clever. Oh my gosh, you gotta read it. I mean, we're gonna have all her information down there. This happens to be
there you go.
Mini
Here's something.
Works number 61.
That's the Hulk's feet.
Yeah.
I'll read just real quick. It says, Hulk won't go for walk spring day. Make multimedia poetry experience. Hulk wander through house. Search Hulk flip-flops. Wear flip-flops. Look down. Hulk feet. Oh.
So the whole thing is like that. And, I mean, it's just a riot. And her cartooning is excellent. Right? Very
absolutely.
clever. You know, everything she does is just really nice. Really nice.
That's from a Backpack Full Hulk.
Yeah.
Is time Hulk stop? Look at backpack. Research backpack. Think about backpack. Time to buy backpack. Stupid brown backpack. 2 pockets. Hulk put camera in. Maybe poem. Maybe poem for you. That's the Hulk, man. But it's another Hulk. But it's
Anyway,
funny stuff. Really, really great.
I would suggest if you know you don't have to ask for these exact ones. Anything that she sends you is going to be great.
Yeah.
So you can ask for the ones that were on our show, or you can ask her for something different, whatever you want to do. But go ahead, contact her, get some of these. You'll get a kick out of them.
This one's beautiful. The Mummy Princess.
Yeah.
I love her art
style.
her cartooning style.
Yeah.
And the way she puts the words, along, like you're reading along, but the words are on the side instead of a lot of word balloons or captions. It works very well like that, like a storybook.
Yeah, she's just very clever with what she does. Very, very clever.
This one was interesting. Like a little girl, and she finds a doll. She finds a doll that's for sale somewhere, and it's supposed to be a Native American princess doll in a fake buckskin dress and moccasins. But somebody had cut his hair off. But she looked at it, and she decided she had to have it. But she was convinced that this was actually supposed to be an Egyptian doll. So she refashions the doll to make her an Egyptian princess. Yeah.
Yep.
Look at that. Look, everything. The top panel, the panel layouts are really cool.
Look at that,
very inventive.
Cool.
You use the word
like
clever.
that.
Absolutely clever. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. She is very, very talented. Very talented.
Very nice.
Very good.
The one about Mr. Rock, which of course it's based on Mr. Spock, obviously. Mr. Rock. He's out there in outer space on a spaceship called Pluto, Mission Equinox. As you know, the equinox is the time of the year where the day and the nighttime are the same exact length. The day and the night are divided equally. That's the equinox. And personal log. Tonight's mission is simple: to confirm the autumnal equinox. So you got Mr. Rock, but he's not. He's on the ship, but there's someone else there.
Yeah.
Looks like a brontosaurus.
Yeah.
Spiny back, and it turns out that is Rear Admiral Grace, who is conducting his annual her annual performance review. So while he's sitting there trying to figure out the equinox, he's being observed by this creature who also happens to enjoy eating wild rice out of a box. There's a little bit of an adventure. There's a giant space worm that appears, and the ship goes off course. And
the Admiral is always enigmatic.
Yep. He doesn't say much. Apparently he doesn't say anything.
He doesn't say too much.
While this is going on,
he's in charge. He is an admiral, but he doesn't say too much.
Mr. Rock is reading the Odyssey by Homer. He hadn't figured out how to spell Odysseus. Anyway, he says at the end he's pretty much unsure. I remain unsure of the outcome of my review, but at least I did learn how to spell Odysseus.
Gotta get some Pam Bliss. You gotta get him.
No, this is just great. This is great stuff. Everything.
All right, we
so
can spend the rest
imaginative.
of the time on Pam, but we've got a lot to do. So
I can't help it. I can't stop showing her artwork.
can't
It's too
stop.
good.
I know.
It's too darn good. It's too imaginative.
Yeah.
Look at that. She is terrific. We
Yeah.
love Pam Bliss. I can
Yeah.
tell you that right now. We're also very, very fond of our pal Tom Fellrath.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Oh, he,
indeed.
Collection here. This is where you can catch up on the story here.
Hologram, which
Yeah, he's got
he
the
is-
whole hologram, counting the days in here. All the stories from chapter 1, which is Overture, and then up through, what was the last one he did here? I want to look
was
at
it
that.
chapter 10? Let me see. But he's
Chapter
reprinted the
5.
mini comics that he did over. Was it 5?
It's 6. Chapter 6.
Chapter
breakdown.
6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
he's got, I think that's correct. 1 through 6 in here.
the first
Yeah.
6 mini comics.
So you can catch up just by getting a hold of this, and the
Yeah.
story goes on. So you'll know where you're at if you've never seen hologram before. This would be the thing to get. It'll bring you right up to date.
And look at that cover by Scott McClung.
Isn't that cool?
One of my favorites,
Because
definitely.
you can see through this guy because he's a hologram.
He's a
So look how
hologram.
Scott did that. Yeah, very cool.
And it details the
right
story from the beginning and the experiment that turned him into this
Turned him into the
hologram.
hologram. Yeah.
In the beginning, he was apparently shrunk down to microscopic size.
Now, I was going to say William Henry Cadell does the illustration for these.
Right.
Scott McClung, of course, did the cover, and it's Tom Fellrath's story and lettering.
Yeah.
So,
William Henry Cadell's quite an excellent artist.
very nice. Yeah. He tells a story that would be difficult to tell for a lot of artists, I think. Not easy.
Yeah.
But he does a great job.
And it's a sad story too, because as he is a hologram and he can't make
Yeah.
physical contact with human beings, other than he's able to emit energy blasts from his hands in case of an emergency. But this is not conducive to a wonderful relationship with your wife. So yeah,
Little problem there. Yeah.
yeah. So they kind of have a problem as things go along. He comes home at one point, and his wife Maggie is packing up all his stuff. She doesn't want to live with a hologram. She misses the guy, and it's sad. It's sad.
Yeah.
It's poignant.
I think what he says on the back here is collecting chapters 1 through 6, which we said, of the 12-issue hologram, counting the days.
Right, but he hasn't quite finished the 12
No,
issues
so it's
yet.
ongoing,
so it's
and
still in process.
that's why you need this. That's why you need this. And this is $5 from Tom Fellrath, and we'll have his info down below. But
That's a wonderful collection.
worth it. I mean,
Really nice.
Want to catch up on the story? There you go.
Yep, there looks like a matrix right there. Well,
Yeah.
He's going through something unbelievable. But it's so well written, and it's this story also. It never gets in a hurry. It's so so well paced, and he's up. I mean, here he is. It's Christmas, and he's at home, but his wife is gone. But he's by himself,
Kind of
sitting
sad.
there,
Yeah.
warming himself, I suppose, by the fire. But he's all alone. I mean, that's tragic. But he is something of a hero as well. Well, somewhere along the lines, he does get a chance to use his I pop a car's tire to prevent a child from being hurt. So this car is hurtling towards this child, but he can emit these energy beings, so he pops the tire so it doesn't hit the child. So he's a guy with good intentions.
And
but he just,
when he says counting the days, he does count the days of each day down.
right.
heading to the climax.
Yeah.
Right here, and at this one I'm looking at is in 1989. Right there in 1989, and he's counting the days down.
Counting the days down. That was the day that his wife Maggie left him. I saw that picture.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he tells you how many days it's been since this all began.
I don't know.
Counting down, he says, so many days ago, 11,893 days ago.
There you go.
He's counting down towards the present. So eventually, at one point, we're going to get down to 30 days, 20 days, 10 days, and we're all very curious about what how this
how it ends.
What happens? How does it end, or does it end?
Yeah, or maybe it keeps going. He says 12, but who knows? Anyway, like I said, this is how you catch up. So I would get that if I was you, so you don't get left out. People will be talking about the story. You won't know what they're talking about unless you get that, that issue.
Yeah, what's he charging for this? $5.
I believe it's $5.
Well, it's totally worth $5. I tell you, for what you get there.
I don't know how many pages. It doesn't say, but that's a lot of pages.
Yeah.
For $5. Oh,
definitely worth that.
Yeah. Okay, we better count the days and move on.
What do you got on your stack there?
Okay, let's do something very different. This is Detective Don Dapper.
Don Dapper.
Let me do a little explaining, and maybe you know this already, Steve. Inside the book, I cannot find any reference to the artist, any address, nothing. But I did find in very small print the words HooHa Comics. So I looked up HooHa Comics on the internet. Found out that the artist here, not the artist, let me explain this. He is an artist, but this is not his drawings. His name is Tim Fuller.
Tim Fuller, yep.
Tim Fuller, if you go to that site, which is called, again, HooHaComics.com, you'll find out that he is a professional comic book illustrator, has done all kinds of work for all kinds of comics.
I know I've heard of him, Tim Fuller. I know I have.
Have you? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what this is something different that he likes to do. This is a comic that has reached the copyright has ended on it.
Yeah.
So what he does, he takes those kind of comics and he redoes the word balloons to tell a completely different story than what's in there. He did not draw it, but he tells you a completely different story.
It looks like it was made like in the 1940s, perhaps.
40s or 30s, maybe even.
Maybe even late
40s.
30s. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's very early.
So it's a detective story, but he has changed this to the fashion police.
Right.
And the detective is involved in fashion. The whole thing, which is fairly long, and there's a lot of panels and a lot of word balloons, but it's all about fashion. And the bad guys are, involved in the fashion world, and it is really...
Yeah, here we got it. He's walking along. He's walking along with this lady.
Yeah.
And where is it? Right at this guy bumps into him. There's a guy reading a newsletter. He bumps in newspaper. He bumps into him, and he says, "What does he say there? Nobody wrinkles my suit. Take that, a-hole."
Yeah.
And I actually like this artwork. I'd like to know who the actual artist is.
I don't know who the artist was, but
yeah.
Who knows what that was originally said, It's a detective story. That originally said something about, cops and robbers and all that, but it's all changed to fashion.
Yeah, he changed it all to fashion. He goes undercover.
Yeah.
There's a group of, sort of a syndicate that's supposedly kidnapping women, forcing them to work making, running a sewing machine.
Yeah.
And, but... they only end up, apparently, for what it looks like to me, they only capture one woman. They got one, and she's holed up in a cheap hotel there. She's stuck in her room, and Detective Don Dapper, he just happens to be in a room nearby. Interestingly, he keeps saying, you know, I'm gonna. He goes out to eat lunch.
Here's a guy. Anton here is gonna design some new clothes for us to bootleg. See, these guys, they're criminals.
Yeah. He's
but they're
masquerading
criminals
as
in the fashion industry.
fashion criminals, living in a cheap hotel. But
this is $4.
It's a lot of fun.
Now, this is $4 that we got this from the Space show when we were at Space.
Yeah.
So it says $4 here. When I looked on HooHa, his website, it's $5. So I don't know, you know, I don't know what's
The other
right.
thing, the type's a little bit small, and for me with my cataract vision, it's
hard to see. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I have to go through
Try
there,
to
but I
hold
did read
up
it.
here, but it's small. I can't get the camera to quite focus on it. So
Yeah.
it is small. But there's a lot to read. You could have a lot of fun reading it, going through it, but it is funny. Although, I will tell you this, right here, it is for mature readers.
Yeah,
And only because of the language, not because of the cartoons, but the language is a little, you don't want little kids reading it, but for us it's fine. It's not going to bother you.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not for the little kids. They wouldn't get it anyway. so it's not for them. Interesting, and I suggest I'll put his webpage on. That's the only contact we have, so I'll put that in the description. Take a look and look at his resume. He has been around, and he has done a lot.
Yes, talking to the chief. I came straight from the hospital, chief. He'd been in the hospital, and the chief says, "Don't call me chief." You know, and I throw back to George Reeves, Superman. But there's a lot of little stuff. It's I can see why some of it would be. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a little bit of stuff in there, but I wouldn't worry about it. It's nothing major.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
it's very funny.
That is something
very
completely
clever.
different. If you want something completely different, try that. That's what I would say.
Yeah, because I had two things. I'm reading the dialogue, and I'm laughing, and but at the same time I'm admiring this artwork.
Yeah, he doesn't tell you who did it or anything. I have no idea. But I didn't see anything on the webpage about that either.
But you know what? I saw it. I saw the original comic online recently. Somehow I came across it. It was the exact same cover, but it had a different name. I saw it, and apparently I didn't save it, make a note of it or anything.
That would have been cool to
I should have.
Yeah.
But I actually saw the original book. Looked very much the same. Just had the type was all different.
I don't know. He's pretty good, because I don't know how he could change those word balloons so perfectly. You can't tell that he's changed. Yeah. You cannot tell. So he's very good. But anyway, a wild one and very different. Okay, we better move on, or we'll be in trouble with the time gods.
Too bad the type is so small. I think if I could see it better, I could read it right now.
Yeah, it's a little small.
But still cool, very cool. Excellent work. Tim Fuller.
Yep, Tim Fuller.
And I wish I had me some science fiction. If I just had a little science fiction, I think I'd be pretty darn happy right about now.
Well, science fiction shall not die.
Science fiction with this awesome back cover. I mean, that's the front cover. That's the what is it? From 1 million miles to Earth, or 5 million miles to Earth. What was it?
Yeah. Jim Maine.
Ray Harryhausen movie.
Jim Maine decided it would be a great idea to preserve some 1950s sci-fi.
5 million miles to Earth. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The
monster. But aren't these mostly from the 50s, I believe?
Well, yeah. There's A lot of it, yeah. There's, but that back cover that I was just admiring so much is J. Moores, Moores. J. Moores. Isn't that a beautiful back cover?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's based on a movie or not, but I don't care. It's just great.
Well, here's how we start out, though. If you've ever seen the silent film about the science fiction silent film, one of the first films ever made, you will recognize the moon with the bullet.
A Trip to the Moon by George Méliès.
Yeah.
When I was a teenager, and I started collecting old. There used to be, there wasn't even VHS tapes. You used to could go to Sears and there was a catalog, and you could order all these 8mm movies and show them on your home movie projector. And I had that movie, and I had a bunch of other little short films by George Méliès, and he was like a very, very early master of special effects. Of course, it's all very crude compared to what we see now, but he had people appearing and disappearing and puffs of smoke and stuff like that. And that's what that is.
That's what that is, yeah. That's from that.
Yeah.
I don't know that I ever saw the whole thing, but anyway, I've seen that many times. And this is done by inside front covers by Alan Freeman. So that's Alan Freeman's artwork, and it looks just exactly like the old silent movie.
Oh, the inside front. Yeah, that's Alan Freeman. Yes, it is. It sure is. It almost looks like the actual movie. Here's some Brad Foster.
What this is, this is every page is a artwork from a science fiction movie, and I'm thinking mostly from the 50s, 60s maybe.
Yeah.
There may be some other years in here, but that's what this is.
Queen of Outer Space.
I can't show you everything, single one, or that would spoil it, but
I believe this was a movie. I'm sorry,
exactly.
Queen of Outer Space. Didn't that star Zsa Zsa Gabor?
I don't know.
It's a Jack Bird from Zsa Zsa Gabor was in a science fiction film, a really low budget one. I think that might be what this one is. Been a while. I'd have to go back and check it out. On the next page, we have Invasion of the Saucer Men.
There you go. I think I remember that one.
I saw that one on television years ago. 1950. I saw it on in Memphis, Tennessee. I remember it well because I watched it with my two brothers, and they had a show, a weekly horror show with a host who was like a vampire. He was called Sivad, S-I-V-A-D.
Oh.
Well, that turned what you later found out was that was his name spelled backwards. His real name was Davis. Backwards, it was Sivad, and he put in fangs and a top hat and a cloak, and he was this vampire host. He was I used to watch these shows all the time. Back in those days.
This is the one I did for Jim.
I think you're on page 12, right? As I recall.
Yes. Yeah, this is page 12. That's what I did.
I remembered.
And I don't remember what movie it was.
Yeah, what movie was that?
I don't know.
It definitely looks like
a famous one. I know it's from the 50s, and I can't remember what movie it was from. I don't know. I did it a long time ago. This didn't get printed for a while,
Nice drawing. Here's something. Page 19. What's on page 19? Brad Ulrich. Now this looks like something more recent.
Some of these may
I'm
be.
not sure what movie this is.
Older, but here, even this one. Let me see. This is on page 16. Let me see who did it. M.D. Jackson. This may be a more modern one. Look at this.
Yeah, Michael Jackson drew that. Well, okay, maybe it was a cousin or something.
Oh, there's one.
It does look more modern.
A little more modern.
Yeah.
At least I think so.
Yeah, and you got Kurt Russell on the next page.
Oh, the Kurt Russell, yeah.
And, that Escape from New York?
That's what I think that is, yeah.
Escape from New York, thus the Statue of Liberty. Yeah, Kurt Russell, and that's another nice one, page 17, drawn by Alan Groening, of course. It would of course be an excellent illo, because he's so darn good.
George Lane III.
Oh,
Is he a friend of yours?
Yeah, George is a pal. He doesn't live too far from here. We haven't actually met in person yet, but it's inevitable. No. It's going to happen. He lives in Central Florida, Verl Holt Bond, also one of my
Oh,
favorite modern small press comics artists.
I don't want to show too much more because there's quite a bit in here.
Well,
But if
I
we
mean, the
show
whole
too
book
much-
it's all illustration. It's entirely
it's all
drawings.
One-page illustrations of science fiction movies from the early days of science fiction.
Yeah, but you're right.
Very
If
cool.
we show all the pictures, you're going to
Yeah,
say,
that
well, I don't
wouldn't
need to
be
buy
good.
the book. I'll just look at
Yeah.
the video.
What's
But a
interesting,
great
it
job
says
from
this
Jim
is
May.
volume 2, number 1 of volume 2. So he's done
Volume
this
2,
before.
number 1. Mm-hmm.
I don't remember seeing it before, but he has done this.
He might. I think he might have done it as a larger size before, a
Maybe.
full size.
Might have been a bigger book. And this is $4.50. $4.50 from Jim Main. And I think we have
That's the
28
Emer.
pages. It's 28
Emer.
pages.
Pardon
Pardon me?
This creature, I think it was called the Emer. 5 million miles to Earth, and that was a great Ray Harryhausen movie. I just it hit me, so I had to blurt it out. You know me.
Yeah.
So
Anyway. Very cool. Especially if you're a fan of science fiction, early science fiction. You have to have that book.
Absolutely.
So.
Man, we went through a lot of stuff really quick there.
By any chance, let me just. You may not even have this. I don't know. Do you have that?
Yes, I do.
Well,
Lou Reed on
this
the
is a
cover.
little confusing. This is a chick track size book. Okay.
Obviously
like a
based
chick
on that style. Based on that style.
And
Yeah.
this is all about the band, the Velvet Underground.
Mm-hmm.
Lou Reed was, of course, in that.
Lou Reed, John Cale. And it's
that's
a dialogue.
That's what this is about. The whole thing is about. If you're a Velvet Underground fan, you would want this.
Nice art. Nice art.
I don't know who did it. On the back it says compliments of, but it's black. We got this at Space. I don't know who we got it from. And they talk a lot about Doug Yule. Now, was Doug Yule part of the band?
I think he was the bass player.
Or maybe he started it. I'm not sure.
Nah, he didn't start it. He was one of the original members, though. I had it up. I had it up online a few minutes ago.
Oh, did you?
I can dig it up again.
Because I don't know who did this. At first, I thought it was Doug Yule, but I see no, he was just one of the. He was a band member, and that's a picture of Doug Yule on the front. But I don't know who did it. I don't know who drew it. It's very well drawn. Very well done. I don't know who did it.
He played guitar. I'm looking at it right now.
He played guitar. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We got this from Space. Somebody gave it to us. We don't know who.
Apparently, based on this book, and there's a discussion between this kid and this older, where I can't see myself. I'm looking at the Velvet Underground.
The problem is I can't tell you how to get this. I don't know how you would get this.
Yeah.
So we can tell you about it, but I don't know how you would get it.
Yeah, you can type in. I'll type in the Forgotten Velvet. Let me see what happens.
Okay.
Forgotten.
Maybe you can find something real quick.
Velvet.
Yeah,
Doug Yule, the Forgotten Velvet. Doug Yule Appreciation Track. I think I found it. Let me see.
So how do you get it? How can you get it?
I'm looking at it. There's a picture of it here. Whoa. Oh, a pack of 10. So it's like 10. It comes in a pack with 9 other books.
Oh, we only got one.
Yeah.
We were robbed.
There is an email address.
It's
but it's long. Mr. Luke and Drew Geddes at gmail.com. So Mr. M.R. Luke LUKEDREWGEDDES at gmail.com. Write it down, take a picture of the screen, but that wouldn't do you any good because it's not up on the screen.
Won't help
I could, but apparently it comes at a track of 10.
Okay, well maybe you can get it if you want it. If you're I think you'd want it if you're a Velvet Underground fan.
Yeah.
I would think you would want this. But anyway, we got it. And
I love Lou Reed. Ever since I heard Rock and Roll Animal.
Yeah.
Rock and Roll Animal from Lou Reed. Man, that was one heck of a great album. I learned about the Velvet Underground after I discovered. Most people did, because the Velvet Underground was virtually an unknown band until Lou Reed hit.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But it's it's
well
illustrated.
A little hard to get, but we wanted to show it anyway.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can send an email to those guys and just ask them, can you just buy the track, or do you have to buy the pack?
Slow the video down so you can hear Steve's Steve talking about the
here's the address at gmail.com.
All right, here we go with here we go, Steve.
I know what's coming. I know it. I was reaching for it too.
There it is.
The great Steve Willis.
Yeah, Steve Willis, Cranium Frenzy number 19.
Yeah. The master, Steve Willis.
Yes. Now, Steve told me in a letter that starting with Cranium Frenzy 20, they're going to get real crazy. Now, how it can get any more
crazier than this.
Crazier than this, but he's going to do it. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. And how do you do this without giving everything away? You know what I mean? I can't. Yeah. I don't want to give it all away. It's too good. I can show you the pictures.
Yeah, you can start on the inside front cover.
Oh my gosh! Yes, we're going to have to give this away. This part.
The Buttercube brothers.
These are the Buttercube brothers. Now they appear on the back of most of Cranium Frenzy. They've been on there for quite a while, and they were always on the back. Well, they complained about being on the back of the cover. They said, we want to be inside. Well, Steve said, okay, I'll put you on the inside cover. And that's what he did. So what happened was, though, when you close the book, the butter melts. And the butter melts and ruins the funniest joke in the world, which is on the next page.
The next page, you can see the butter
smeared.
Yeah, it's melting to the next page.
It melted on the next page, and the Buttercube brothers ruined the
funny joke
in the world.
So you
I'm
start out
still
reading
mad about it.
And this guy, you can begin to read it. A porcupine and a life insurance salesman walk into a bar, and then it just
and they ruined it because they're selfish and wanted to be. They couldn't stay on the back of the book.
And it's too bad, because at the end it says sustained laughter lasting for 57 minutes.
See, that's the thing. That's what we're missing out on.
Darn!
And you can't blame Steve Willis. It's not his fault.
Yeah.
So
I can read you the punchline. Well, I can't help it. I'll read you the punchline.
You can read the punchline.
The entire joke is blurred out, but then it says, and the porcupine said to the anteater, "That's no giant eyeball. It's a kumquat in a hat box."
But you need the middle. This is not good. I got the punchline, but no middle. Anyway. So Steve goes on. He carries on, even though the first page is ruined.
Yeah.
And has a story in here called
Morty's back.
Morty the dog. Opossum, O Blossom. And it involves a clown who thinks he's funny.
Yeah. It has an electrifying. The first two panels are absolutely electrifying.
Yes, because the clown thinks he's funny with the shake hands with him. He's got that buzzer in his hand.
I guess he's got a joy buzzer or something there.
He thinks that's pretty funny.
He thinks that's really funny. So Morty doesn't think it's as funny.
No, Morty doesn't think that's funny at all.
He says, "It's you, Mr. Chunkles. If you want to summon me, a simple 'let's go' would suffice." To which the clown responds, with more voltaic current. Look at Morty.
Practical joker.
Yeah. And he keeps doing it. He keeps doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Morty's not too happy about. Oh, that was funny. That was good. I like this part because the clown, he looks really serious. He says, you don't even. What do you say? You're not even funny. You're a clown. You never smile. He says, is there anything that would make you smile? And of course, there's another electric jolt, and you can see the clown's face right there.
And that goes on for a number of pages. So, can't give
Hilarious.
it away. Too funny, can't give it away.
Yeah.
But it goes on for a number of pages.
Well, the clown.
And then we go to let's see here.
Well, they're going on an adventure. I'm not sure where they're going, but it's pretty out there. Their clown is taking them on an adventure, and you never know what's going to happen next. It gets in a truck. But instead of wheels, it has like feet. And the sound effect, of course, is transport. And there he is. There's Morty in there with all those little faces, the little cranium guys.
Yeah.
Those little teeny heads.
And then
Steve
is in here.
Yeah.
Talking to. Let me get this right here.
Yeah.
And he is saying to Morty, you are just lines on paper, buddy.
Yeah.
I invented you. Are you insane? I invented myself, Morty says.
Right.
But over here...
Steve Willis is spilling the beans.
Yeah. Steve comes back with... I just made you say that. Your words are my words, and my words are your words.
Yep.
Morty goes, wait a minute.
Oh, you can say I invented myself. Yeah, so they have a conversation. Well,
You
but
must be lines on a paper too. Yes. Yeah. Life. Oops.
Like you, I'm
Mike, I'm sorry. Like you, I am merely a lines on a paper residue of Willis.
So where's Steve Willis? Yes, where's Steve Willis? He says, out there.
Yeah.
So
Pointing
the actual
out
Steve
at
Willis
us.
is watching all of this, all this madness unfold.
But,
that's pretty crazy.
You just gotta, you gotta read it. We can't give it away. And
there's an ongoing
jokes.
There's an ongoing gag about Elvis, and then appears that Elvis pops up Elvis in the actual story, but actually it's Andy Kaufman, the late comedian, impersonating Elvis. So, but nothing is as it seems in this story. It's pretty wild.
Now, since the butternut, the Buttercube brothers are not on the back, he's got somebody new on there, Mrs. Bung in the Butt. Starts her
Bug
day.
in the butt.
Yeah, Mrs. Bung in the Butt. I don't know whether you got to be like, 8 years old to get this, or what, but to me it's very funny.
There's a lot of crazy stuff in here. At one point, Morty is thrust on stage, and he doesn't know why he's there, and so, somebody says, just read the cue cards. So he starts to read the cue cards, and there's a drummer nearby, right over here. So there's jokes. So everything he says, they punctuate it. Ba-ba-boom, ba-ba-da-boom.
Yeah.
And he says, one time I had a gig in a German drive-in theater only filled with people driving their Audi. But I was on stage behind them, so all I saw were the tail lights. It was a tough audience. E-N-D, audience. Think about it, folks. Might take you a minute. But, well, but he just tells one bad joke after another.
He's the worst comedian in history.
Yeah, so they're all yelling at him, throw him off the stage. Your jokes suck. You stink, The jokes get worse and worse. Some of them are kind of funny though.
Yeah.
You see what we got here? There were some bad drug dealers in the city. The cops recruited and trained a geranium to infiltrate the gang. It was a plant. Geranium.
All right, I'm going to read one.
Oh, Steve, you're killing me, man.
A monk found himself locked out of the monastery and lost his keys. But then he heard singing from just a few feet away where he dropped them. Hey, hey, we're the monkeys.
We're the monk keys.
We're the monkeys.
And bada-doom. You're awful. They're yelling, boo, boo, don't quit your day job.
Now, you can't buy this. I've told you this before. You cannot buy this. What you can do is send him a comic, or you can send him some stamps, and he will put you on his mailing list. But you can't buy it. Don't try to buy it. So he will send it to you free if you send him just the postage and maybe trade him a comic. If you got a comic you want to trade him, then he'll trade him. So that's how that works.
And you might get something like this. But it's not this side, it's the other side.
It's the other side that he'll send you, and that's an original.
Quint was slightly more linked to wild animals than most people. That's it?
That's it.
Looks rather animalistic.
Is that a Morty comic?
That is a Morty comic. This one is
those. Normally he plants those all over McCleary, Washington.
Number 6,543.
Yeah. So he has done 6,543 of them, and he plants them all over Washington, McCleary, Washington. And I don't know where he puts them, but he puts them in hiding somewhere.
I wonder if people find these comics and then they go back looking for more.
What they think.
They start collecting them after a while, you know.
I don't know what they think when they get that. Okay, we're getting late on time.
I think we can do one more.
One more, okay, let's do one more. Which one? We got, we'll show you what we got left.
Well, we got two more.
I think you got Hump, right?
Oh, you got Hump? I didn't know we were gonna do that one. Let me see.
Oh, we don't have to do it. We can save it. You want to do it? Yeah. It's really a short one. Have you got it?
I haven't read it yet. We'll do this in the next episode.
We'll do the other one then.
But shout out to Alan Sissom. Alan Sissom, we love you, man. We'll do this next time.
Save it for next time.
I got a couple we want to do next time here. So
yeah.
We're catching up on a lot of the stuff from the Space Con. So.
Yeah, this is maybe the last one from space. I don't know. Trick Film. And this is by
Charles Brubaker.
Yeah, Charles Brubaker. But it is pretty much kind of a review zine. Not really too much. There's some comics in it, you know, but there's a lot of reviews of other comics also.
I wonder who does that back cover. I'm not sure who does this back cover. It says copyright M.O.T. Mott. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Mott.
But distinctive, edgy back cover.
Yeah. But inside here are a bunch of. Reminds me of a lot of old review zines, the way they were done. I like this, you know, a picture of the cover of the book and then the description of the comic. And there's a bunch of them in here.
I think we're mentioned. We're mentioned in here somewhere. Larned Justin is mentioned on the bottom of page 16. Yes, indeed, Larned Justin is mentioned. There he is. Shout out, a little blurry there. One-time editor of the White Buffalo Gazette, one-time small press maker, and the brains behind the Talking Small Press Comics show. But he does mention, and he does ask if you want your comics reviewed on our show, send Larned and me, send us both a copy.
There is a picture of the comic he's talking about right there, which is Two Ordinary Guys from Jupiter. That's a little mini comic that I did.
Yeah.
Sub mini comic.
That was
but
a
anyway,
good one
that's
too.
what he's talking about.
Yeah.
But he also has. I like you know, we got to show that he's doing a little Cornelia cartoons.
Oh, yeah.
Our friend Kel.
Kel Crum, you bet.
He does a little write-up on his comic.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's some more comics in here, just regular.
There's some comic strips, yeah, File Pile, who's that by? Dan Variano.
Oh.
File Pile. So someone
and,
is...
this one was Happy Mark by Etropolis. That's the last name, Etropolis.
Wait, I want to say something about that File Pile. You got somebody and they got all these files, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to put them... she smashes them all up, rolls them all up, and put them into a file cabinet. But you see how tall the stack is, right?
Yeah.
So she puts them in there, and this little guy, little doggy guy, comes along, opens them up, and they all come flying out. Boom! Right.
It was a little. I mean, putting the last one in there probably did it. You know.
You got them all in there, and then.
It would have been okay. Had to put in one more than you should have.
Yep. Well, here's some art by Charles Brubaker himself.
Yeah, right in the back.
Larned Ipsum.
Right there.
Comic strip there.
So, and this is number 3. And the cost on this, let me see if I can find it.
It's free. No, it's not free.
I don't see the cost. But I got information you can find out.
Yeah.
I'll put it down in the info. I don't know how much this is.
I'd guess $3-4 maybe.
Maybe, but this would be a good thing. It's got some comics in it. It's got reviews in it.
Okay. It's got an interview.
I thought it had some movie reviews because of the name Trick Film.
Right.
I think it does, doesn't it?
I'm not sure.
Maybe I missed that.
I have to go back through it. It does have an interview with Josh Nickerson, who is an artist. He does a comic, web comic called Nolan's, and he has a graphic novel called Midshift. He does mini comics. Some of his stuff was collected into a paperback, Mini Comic Madness, and you can see some of Josh Nickerson's work here.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
You can see.
I wanted to mention that the news from the comics community is compiled by Micah Leisenfeld.
Oh yeah. He's mentioning the editorial in the front.
But Micah helps out with that, and Micah doesn't live too far from me. Little ways, not far.
So Micah, he's a pal of the show, and we always interested in anything that he's involved with. And this is certainly good.
He does a lot of reviews. He's excellent at it.
Now I don't know. There's a strip called Happy Mark by Ed Tropolis. Now I don't know. It reminds me of Joseph Morris. I don't think it's Joseph Morris, but it's very similar type of style.
Different. It's a little different. Probably that's the one you're talking about. It's a little different than Joe's style.
Yeah.
It's similar. I would say it's similar.
Interesting.
I don't think it's Joe. I think it is this Edtropolis because he's got a Patreon page, Edtropolis.
Okay.
It says right down on the bottom that he has a Patreon page.
Pretty funny. Not quite. Maybe not quite as cosmically wild and wacky as Joseph Morris's work. Well, there's another nice page from Josh Nickerson. This is really nice here.
Oh yeah.
I think that's Josh Nickerson there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice inking on that.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay, I think we have done it. We've tried to not
watching the clock, trying not to go over an hour.
Yeah, we're trying, and I think we might have done it. So we'll save whatever we have for next time. Don't know, you're going to have to subscribe and hit the bell notification to know when we're on again next. We never know quite when we'll be on, but...
yeah, I'm going on vacation. I'm going to North Carolina to see my brothers and sisters.
So
Hi, guys.
You'll be gone a little bit. Not too long, though, right?
Probably I'll be gone all next week. And I won't have time to do another show this week. So it'll be approximately 2 weeks when we do the next show.
Yeah. So you can digest this show in the meantime.
Yeah. And I also have another channel. It's called the Classic Comics Man channel. If you want to check that, I got some new videos up in there.
Reviews, comic reviews.
I just might work in one more video before this weekend on that channel. If you want to check it out, just type in the Classic Comics Man, and you'll find it. And,
all right.
So it's some of the stuff we don't review here. Also, we have a Patreon page.
Yes, we do.
And it's only $3 per month, and you get
anything
videos.
Any profits that we get from that, we put back into this show to buy some comics that you don't normally see.
Right.
So we're doing that. We've already bought some, so we're doing that.
Yeah.
And we will, I guess, see you next time.
That was it. 50 videos, folks.
50. We'll be back with 51.
All right. See you next time.
Bye.